We got a full field of 12 with one also eligible for this year's Sam F. Davis at Tampa Bay Downs. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to Prep Talk with Vinny. I'm Vinny from uh, Picks by Dynasty. And hopefully this weekend at the Sam F. Davis, we will do a little bit better than we did last weekend. We had a tough second in the Holy Bowl, even though my guest, Dennis Trusty, did have the winner, White Abario, on top. And then we tried to beat the chalk in the Withers and the Robert B. Lewis, which just wasn't happening with those fields. We took a stab, we missed. We're going to move on. This should be a great betting race. We got a full field of 12 with one also eligible. So we'll just jump right into it here. The number one is Mr. Rum Runner. And he most recently finished third in the Mucho Macho Man, which was won by simplification, who ran second in the Holy Bull last weekend. He seems like he's a need the lead type, and I don't know if he is quick enough early on to get this early lead. I do think from the rail they really have no choice but to send this horse, so I think he is going to make this pace a little more honest than it might have been. He's been working out okay. He's just not for me. He's going to be a big price, but he's one of those horses, he's gonna have to go gate to wire to beat this field, in my opinion, and I don't see him getting a comfortable lead to do so. Uh, he has run well though without Lasix before, which some of these other runners can't say, so that is a positive. He is shipping in from Gulfstream, so it's his first race outside of Gulfstream too, which also it's not a bad thing. I think some horses just really like Gulfstream, or some don't. I think he can improve. He'll be a price, but again, as a win contender, I'm not sold on him. I think he needs the lead, and I don't think he's going to get it. So he is a toss for me on top, but I understand if you're going to use this horse underneath at a price. The number two is Unpredictable Bay, and this horse is very interesting in my opinion. It did take him 6 times to break it. Well, seventh time he broke his maiden. But he was right there in all of his starts. 7 starts, 1 win, 5 seconds, and 1/3. He's done everything from sprinting to routing. He does have a second place effort at this distance, a mile and a 16th, back in August of last year at Arlington. The pedigree is there to get the distance. He's very quick. He seems like he can sit off a little bit. He does have he does seem very fast early though, so would not be surprised if this is your early pace setter, or at least is contesting the pace. I believe he's the second fastest horse in this race according to time form, that besides the also eligible. So he's got a 114 early time form pace figure. So I figure he's going to be right there in the early pace. I like him if we're going to get a price. I don't have morning lines, but I'm expecting this one to probably be about 5, 6 to 1, maybe a little higher. And I think he's interesting, and one that I would be using on my multi-race tickets. I don't think that this is going to be my top pick, but he's very interesting. I like him as the speed a lot more than I like Mr. Rum Runner. So that's number two, Unpredictable Bay. I think you should at least give this horse a look. The number three is Classic Causeway. And last time we saw Classic Causeway, he was running second to Smile Happy in the Kentucky Jockey Club, which the third place finisher was White Abario, who did win the Holy Bull pretty impressively last weekend. And early time form figures actually have Classic Causeway as the fastest horse besides the also eligible. I don't think this horse needs the lead though. He just naturally has talent. I think he naturally has tactical speed. So I don't think he necessarily needs the lead. I'm expecting him to do a little more stalking today, especially with Irad shipping in to ride. I do think that is a big sign that Irad is shipping in here to ride him. I don't think Irad would ship in to ride a horse that is, especially to Tampa, that is not ready to go. So I would expect a big run from Classic Causeway today. I do expect, though, he's probably going to be either the favorite or the second choice. But with a full field of 12, I do think we're going to like that might be like 3 to 1, which is a bit of value, especially when you have a horse like him who he's been under 2 to 1 in his last two starts. He has been the beaten favorite in both of those starts, but we might actually get a little value on him today in his 3-year-old debut. And if he runs like people were betting him as a 2-year-old, he could be very dangerous and a nice new addition to the Kentucky Derby leaderboard that is currently a complete mess because of the Baffert situation. But we'll move on. The number 4 is Golden Glider, one of 3 in here for trainer Mark Cassie, and I actually prefer this one over the number 5 runner, uh, God of Love, and over his other runner, Volcanic, who I am expecting will be the lower price of the 3 Mark Cassie horses. Sired by Ghost Zapper, out of an Oriente Dam. This horse should have no problem getting the distance. He's 2 for 2 lifetime. You did win on the poly at Woodbine, and then Cassie shipped him here, and he won going a mile here at Tampa. So he has won at the distance before. He is losing Lasix today, kind of a negative in my opinion that he is losing Lasix, but he should be a decent price. He's been bet in both of his starts though, so another one that I'm expecting probably 6, 7 to 1. We might get on Golden Glider. He looks dangerous though, especially if the pace does end up hot with the inside 3 horses that all have early early speed. If he gets a pace in front of him, this horse could run everybody down late. He circled the field 4 wide last time and one going away. Would not be surprised if he can get a similar trip against this field. I'm definitely going to be using Golden Glider. He might end up being my top pick. We'll see how the rest of this field shapes up. The number 5 is God of Love, also for trainer Mark Cassie, and he's shipping in from Woodbine. All 3 of his starts are at Woodbine, and he is one of the high weights because he does have a graded stakes win. He's carrying 122 pounds compared to some of the others that are only carrying 118. He is a grade 3 winner. It is at Woodbine though, so take that what you will. He's never run on dirt. He's only run on poly and turf. He does have very good pedigree though. He's got sired by Cupid. Cupid's an all right sire. Just another one that it seems to be pace dependent, but he could get it done. Cassie doesn't ship him here if he doesn't think they're okay. So I think I'd give this one a look. I don't think I would play this one though, unless he was double digits. I just personally prefer Golden Glider a lot more. But the jockey does ship in from Woodbine. Hernandez ships in from Woodbine the ride, so that is a good sign. I just don't know how much talent is really here with this one. He did run an 80 buyer speed figure last time out, which is solid. He improved a lot. Not sure though if that's inflated just because it was a grade 3. Because when compared to his other 3 races, he failed to break 70. He actually a 50, a 66 on the turf, and a 56. I'm personally just going to stay away from this one unless he's double digits. If I think he's going to be double digits, I might use this one underneath. But I personally, I'm not using this one anything in anything. I think there's too many other interesting runners to use this particular Mark Cassie runner. But if you like closers, this is the one of the other horses that should be rolling late. So don't let me talk you off of them. The number 6 is Trademark, and Trademark has looked very good. He is 2 for 2 at the distance. Is a great pedigree. Upstart out of a Creative Cause dam. And he just seems to be getting better. He just kept getting better at the end of last year. It's his 3-year-old debut today. Hey, I just I don't know. I think he's going to be another one of those runners that needs to be near that early pace that I think is going to get hot. So that is my one caution with him. He has run well though, without Lasix, and he's not carrying Lasix. He obviously doesn't have Lasix today. So that's an improvement over some of the other runners who have been running with Lasix. I just don't know if he's fast enough early. His early fractions have not been super quick, 24:48 in his last two efforts, and he's gone gate to wire. I don't think he can get away with a 24:48 here, especially with Classic Causeway, who's been consistently running under 24. Unpredictable Bay, I know he's stretching out today, but uh, even in his mile and a 16th race, ran under a 24. His mile race, he ran under a 23. So I don't think anybody's getting away with a 24-second opening quarter here with an uncontested lead. So I think that's a big negative for Trademark. He does have a couple nice bullet works coming into this, but he's not for me. I will be tossing, and if he beats, he's one that if he beats me, he beats me. The number 7 is, I'm going to guess, the likely morning line favorite. If not, he will be second choice behind Classic Causeway. Is the Springboard Mile winner Make It Big for Safi Joseph Jr., who also trained White Abario, who won the Holy Bull last weekend. And I am tossing Make It Big. I get that he's 3 for 3. He's looked very good in all of his starts, and he keeps improving. I can just not, especially at a short price, I am not playing the Springboard Mile winner. Um, would it shock me if he won? No. He's done nothing wrong. I just can't play the Springboard Mile winner until he does something outside of the Springboard Mile. So I'm not using Make It Big. He's likely going to be a short price, but if I can beat Make It Big, it probably will make the payouts much bigger. So I'm gonna hope that I'm right, and the Springboard Mile was just not a good race this year. The number 8 is Shipsational, and this one's very interesting. And I've had my eye on this horse, waiting for him to make his 3-year-old debut, since January, obviously. But I almost drafted him in a fantasy league I'm in. He's been on my watch list, so I'm very interested to see how he runs today. He doesn't get Saez today, which kind of upsets me. Saez doesn't ship in the ride. He gets Javier though. Javier ships in, and here's another runner that has done nothing wrong. He broke his maiden. He came back in a New York bred 2-year-old race, stakes race, the funny side, on New York Showcase Day, which is the day before Travers Day at Saratoga. He ran fourth. Then he came back and he won two races. He won two state bred stakes races at Belmont with all under Saez. He didn't go off the favorite, even though he was a short price in either of them. If he can stretch out, I think he can be dangerous. I like the pedigree. Midshipman out of a Thunder Gulch dam. The Saez thing is kind of concerning. I know Saez gets some pretty big mounts, but I would have liked to see him stick with this one, to use him as a top pick. I also don't know how much talent is here. It's his first time running against Open Company. He's only run against New York breds, and that's not a knock on New York breds. I am hoping though to get a bit of a price today, because I am going to use this horse on at least multi-race tickets. But first time stepping up in class, first time against Open Company. Two of his wins are on a sloppy track, and I don't believe as of right now it's supposed to be a sloppy track. So there's a lot of firsts that this horse has to overcome against a full field. So while he's not my top pick, I do like the number 8 Shipsational, and I will be using him on multi-race tickets. The number 9 is Howling Time for Dale Romans, and if we learned anything from last weekend, do not uh, just avoid Dale Romans horses as winners until they beat you. Uh, Everybody was all about Giant Game in the Withers. We weren't huge on him. Uh, we tossed him, and people called us crazy in the comments for tossing him, and I don't even think he's finished yet. So I'm not using Howling Time. He did run. He is coming out of the same race as Classic Causeway, and he ran fifth that day in the Kentucky Jockey Club. Not for me. If Dale Romans beats me, he beats me. I do like the pedigree here on this one. I think eventually we'll probably see this one on the turf at some point this year. Not this time out of an arch dam. I think this is a turf horse. He is coming in off a nice work, but how many times have we said that about Dale Roman's horses for them not to do anything? I'm drawing a line through Howling Time. Horse beats me, he beats me. The number 10 is Volcanic, the third Mark Cassie runner. And this one has a bit of a fan base. I know a lot of people on racing Twitter have liked this horse, and I've been waiting for him to run back, and here it is. He was exciting in his maiden win. He looked really good. The horse that he beat, Charge It, is another one that some people really like and think both of these horses have a good shot at being something on this year's Kentucky Derby Trail. I'm gonna need to see another good effort out of this one before I use him on top. Um, I will use this one. I'm probably gonna go 4 or 5 deep here on multi-race tickets for pick fours and pick fives. He is one I'm going to use. He looks interesting. If he runs like he did in his maiden race, he's definitely a player in here. He's shown the ability to sit behind the pace, which I think the pace is going to be pretty solid again. I've said that a few times during this. So I think he's going to get the trip. I just don't know if he's talented enough. I will probably only use him though if he is again, around that like 8 to 10 to 1 range, which I think he might be. So we'll see. The one big negative on him is the last race he won. When he broke his maiden was with Lasix. Doesn't get Lasix today, and I know it's a minor thing, but it really does make a difference. Horse improved his buyer by 23 points from his previous top with adding Lasix. So not sure if maybe the Lasix really did improve him that much, or if he has a horse improved. So I'm not sold on him, but at a price, I'm going to use him because I would hate to get beat by him. The number 11 is Strike Hard, and Strike Hard is he's okay. He ran second in the Mucho Macho Man to Simplification. He only lost by 4 lengths, whereas Mr. Rum Runner was a very distant third in that race. And he also ran second by 4 lengths a few starts back to White Abario. His horse ran in the Iroquois, he ran seventh. So he's been there. This is one of those horses I think at a price will probably be like your classic underneath horse for exactas and trifectas. I don't think this horse is good enough to win against this field, but I do expect a big run from him. So exacta and trifecta players, I think this is one of those runners you key for underneath. He's going to be near that early pace again, and I don't think he is quick enough early to really stick with him. So he's probably going to end up getting shuffled back into that second flight of horses, and that's where I don't think he wants to be. I think he wants to be within like a half length of this pace. So I'm not using him on top. If you're playing exactas and tries, though, I think he is one of those runners that you hope to get a price on and you use him underneath. The number 12 is Kitten Mischief for trainer Jonathan Thomas. And I think this is going to be one of your wise guy horses in this field. Maiden win was great, just missed second time out, but paired up with 78 buyers in both races. I think there's something here. I just think probably this is a turf horse. Jonathan Thomas does this from time to time. He tries horses on the dirt for a little bit before switching them to turf or vice versa. The dam's sired by Kitten's Joy. I think this will be a turf horse, but he's going well right now, so I don't think he's gonna run a bad race. He's got the running style that I'm looking for in this race, where he can sit right behind the pace and make one move. Manny Franco ships in the ride, which, yeah, it's not the best ship in, but Manny, compared to some of these other jockeys on this in this Tampa colony, is very good. So another one that I would consider using, probably underneath though. But if you get a price on him, I think he should be another one around that like 8 to 10 to 1 range. At that price, he might be worth playing to you. I'm not using him on top, but I would use him like strike hard. I would use underneath and exactas and tries, because I think he will be moving late, and the distance should not be a problem. And now we get to the also eligible in the number 13, Little Vic. And the complexion of this race will completely change if Little Vic draws into this field with Paco as the jockey. If Little Vic draws in, this is going to be a very different race. Uh, he's a sprinter stretching out. He ran second by a half length last time to My Prankster, who was very impressive in last week's Grade 3 Swale at Gulfstream. If he enters, this is your early pace horse, and I don't know if any of the others can keep up with him early. So the entire complexion of this race changes if Little Vic draws in. And he is a sprinter stretching out, but he's got a pedigree that says he can stretch out. Practical Joke out of a rock hard 10 dam. No reason he can't get the distance. And if he runs fractions like he's been, he's going to be alone on the lead. He ran the sub 20. I don't think Paco will have him run a sub 22 here, but he might just be the quickest horse out of the gate. Time form has him, what, 6 points above Classic Causeway, who again I don't think needs the lead. So he's 8 points higher than Unpredictable Bay, who probably goes to the lead if he's not in. If Little Vic's not in, this is a horse that I think if he draws in, you have to use on your tickets. I don't think you can ignore him. I doubt you get a price either. If he draws in, it's going to make uh the other two likely favorites, Classic Causeway and Make It Big's odds go up a bit. He's dangerous, and if he draws in, this horse would be my top pick. I just don't. I think he could go gate to wire. Paco's aboard. I don't think Paco takes this mount unless he really thought this horse was something. So Little Vic would be my top pick in here if he draws in. If he does not draw in, I am going to go with the Mark Casse runner in Golden Glider as my top pick. Uh, Again, I just like this one's running style. I think he's going to get the setup with the pace. But if Little Vic's in there, I probably would just single Little Vic, honestly, on top, and hope he does go gate to wire. If he's not, I'm going to use Golden Glider with some of these other ones underneath. Try to catch a Cold Exacta with Golden Glider over Classic Causeway, which I think is a very probable outcome here. So that's it for the Sam F. Davis. Again, I am on the number 13 and the also eligible Little Vic if he draws in. If he does not draw in, I am on the number 4 Golden Glider for Mark Casse. Best of luck this weekend, and I will see you next time.